we have Bitcoin. All right, so we've had last 4 days of red. We are being held down by the 50, and I do think we are going back down to the bottom of the range around 18,700. Your momentum oscillators, your momentum isn't looking very good right now. Your MACD, which is a momentum oscillator, judges bullish and bearish momentum, has curled over, okay, in the last 2 ticks. So you have lost your upside curvature. Positive momentum on the histogram is starting to trend to the downside. So as soon as we cross that signal line on the daily, and if we're at the bottom of the range at the same time, I do expect to break that bottom of the range. Now, one thing I have done is took a measured move of this entire range from about 18,400 to 24,700. And this would be the range measured move. You just measure from the bottom of the range to the top of the range, and you can get your measured move once you break said range. That range comes down to our green zone right here at about 13 to 50. All right, and I know that number seems far-fetched, but it's just the measured move. That's all. So all your moving averages are trending down, which are all these lines right here. Even your 200 is trending down. So your overall trend is completely down. So right now we're being held down by the 50, as said. And now we have our POC on this VPVR here to your right, which measures horizontal volume at a certain price level. We have your POC above us now. So that's going to be major resistance at about 20K. All right, so like I said, if we break the bottom of this range, shit's going to get ugly quick. Your RSI, which is also a momentum oscillator, has crossed its signal line to the downside. Right now, we are on the second tick below the signal line. I do think we come down to the top of the bearish control zone at the 5.0 level on the RSI. So once we bounce, if we do enter this bearish control zone, like I said, that's going to coincide with us crossing to the downside of the MACD. By the way, we're on the daily right now, so we are on more medium-term time frames. Also, your BBWP is very, very low, below its moving average. When it crosses this moving average and your moving average gets a positive slope, that's when the move is going to happen. Expect a big, big move after we break one of the either we're going to go up to the top of the range as this BBWP crosses its moving average and that moving average gets a positive slope, or we will break the range to the downside and head our way down to 13,400. Okay, so definitely stay nimble right now because, like I said, things will get ugly if we do break the bottom of the range, and we will go down another, in my opinion, we'll go down another about 30%. I would expect that to be the bottom, the absolute bottom, and then I do think we would consolidate there for a while. Okay, so let's go down to the 8-hour and check out another medium-term time frame. All right, so BBWP is trying to cross its moving average, and its moving average does have a positive slope. So whenever this does cross its moving average, that's when the move will happen. And that'll roll over into the daily, and then it'll turn that daily moving average right over. Now, MACD has crossed to the downside. Negative momentum on the histogram is increasing. RSI, excuse me. Signal line has a downside curvature. We are bouncing off the top of the bearish control zone. Like I said, the top of the bearish control zone is going to act as support every time, unless you just plow right through it, and then that looks even worse. So if we enter this bearish control zone, I would expect us to enter the bearish control zone on the daily. So definitely watch your BBWP on the 8-hour, because these are the medium-term time frames. These moves mean a lot more. All right, so watch your BBWP on the 8-hour. We're going to check the lower-term time frame still. Watch your BBWP on the 8-hour. That's going to roll over into the daily. All right, and that's when the massive move will happen. 4-hour bearish control zone on the RSI. Signal lines coming down it's going to enter the bearish control zone, in my opinion. We do have bullish divergence from this point to this point. All right, so I would expect a pop up to the moving averages right here as they are making a multi-crossover somewhere around 19,750 or 19,700. That's the level to break. If we can get a 4-hour closure above these moving averages at about 19,800, I would expect a rally up to 20,350. All right, which is basically these last highs. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we do get a rally possibly up to here and then continue to the downside. All right, so your MACD, fresh cross of the zero line. Negative momentum's decreasing a little bit, but if that signal line crosses that MACD line or the zero line to the downside, things will get ugly. Now, we do have support on the MACD right where we're at right now. All right, so we could get a bounce. Like I said, we could get a bounce. The MACD could bounce back up to the zero line and then continue to the downside. BBWP has crossed its moving average into the upper zone. Now it is trending down while the price action is trying to move up, which makes me think this is a corrective move. All right, we probably stay above our moving average, which means the volatility would continue. Like I said, I think we get a pop up to here about 19,700 to 19,800. So that's the level to beat. 19,800 is the level to beat. All right. You are, the 50's bouncing off the 200 right here. 21's coming down, trying to cross the 200 right now. If it does cross the 50, and this 50 and the 21 crosses the 100 at the same time, and then they fan out, that's going to be a multi-moving average crossover with a fan out confirmation, which is one of my signals that I use in actual trading. So use that as you will. I just figured I'd let you know a little secret on how I trade. Okay, so like I said, if they cross the 100 and they start to fan out as we head to the bottom of the range, that's not going to look good, because then you're going to have your MACD crossing your signal, or your signal line crossing your moving average. You're going to have on the 8-hour us entering the bearish control zone as the MACD crosses its zero line. By the way, fresh cross to the downside on the 8-hour. Let's see here. Yeah, so right now we're being held up by the 100. So if we fall below the 100 at 19,400 on a 4-hour closure, I would expect us to come to the bottom of the range, 18,700. So watch that level, watch these moving averages. You know, you need to get back above 19,800 in order to be bullish. That's the level to beat. 1 hour, let's go to the shorter term time frames. Okay, so it looks like we could have some sort of symmetrical triangle, but we'll find out. Looks like we could have some sort of symmetrical triangle, which would have a measured move of basically down to 19,000. And that would continue us down to the bottom of the range. If we get down there, I think we test the bottom of the range. I think we test the bottom of the range anyway. Had a multi-moving average crossover up here, which let you know to get short. Basically had it right here. You would add a decent move, you know, little scalp. But if we continue to go down, it's going to be an even nicer trade. All right, so once your 50 crosses this 200, that's not going to look good either. Like I said, watch these moving averages. These moving averages are going to kind of tell you the true trend. All right, well, they are. But also, bearish control zone on the RSI. Above its signal line, bouncing off its signal line, but we could come up to the top of the bearish control zone and then get rejected. We need to stay above, come on, TradingView. We need to stay above 19,463 in order to stay above that signal line. If we cross that signal line to the downside, that's going to pour over into the 4-hour, and your MACD has a fresh cross to the upside. Positive momentum is pretty stable right now, but if we start to go down, printing some dark red bars, not going to look good either. Watch your signal line here as well. Let's see if we have any divergences. Oh, hold on. So, this is a confirmed high, and we head down past this last low at 19,450. We will have potential bearish divergence, which would probably lead us back down to 19,300. And continue on to the bottom of the range. See, there's a lot of variables right now that tell us we're going down. Okay, but like I said, we could get the bounce up to 19,700 to 19,800. Basically right where this 50 is where I'd be guessing 19,700. So I mean that's basically it for Bitcoin. If you guys are liking this video so far, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below. One being the Discord. A lot of good conversations on trading and investing in crypto in there. So definitely check out the Discord. Stay ahead of the curve. We stay ahead of the curve in the Discord. All right, so here on your Stokes for Bitcoin, fresh cross to the upside, trying to get out of the oversold region, entering the bearish control zone. So if we can get back above this last high, that will look good on your stochastic for the 4-hour. All right, so right now you are in a bearish order block. Let's see what this level is. Basically 19,850 to get out of this order block. But then you're going to run into major resistance right here at 20K. All right, so 19,800 is the level to beat, right? But 20,000 is going to be major resistance as well. Okay, so that's basically it for Bitcoin. Let's move on to Ethereum. Here on Ethereum, still respecting our red zone, bouncing off the bottom. 21 trying to cross the 200, had a multi-crossover here, which let you know to get bearish. Okay, RSI trying to work its way out of the bearish control zone, but we'll find out. Right now we do have a W pattern. As you see, the last time we had a W pattern, we went up a little bit. All right, so I would expect us to test the top of the bearish control zone. We need to stay above $1,328 in order to stay above that signal line. MACD, fresh cross to the upside. Positive momentum really ain't doing shit right now. All right, so, I mean, this bounce could be very weak. BBWP's losing its downside curvature, curling back up. Cross that moving average, that's when the move's going to happen. That's when it's going to pour over into the higher term time frames. Check out the 4-hour. 4-hour RSI, entering the bearish control zone, not looking good. MACD, fresh cross to the zero line, not looking good. BBWP, curling around, but you still could consolidate here for a little bit. Possibly, consolidate between the 21 and the 50 at basically 1340 and 1330. All right, so we could get a little bounce here. That would coincide with Bitcoin getting its little bounce, but I don't think it's going to be much. I do think we break this red zone. I do think we come down to the bottom of the range at about 1270 region. Okay, let's move on to the 8-hour. 8-hour RSI coming down to the top of the bearish control zone. Could get the bounce up to the neutral median line and the signal line, but I do think we get rejected from there. I do think we enter the bearish control zone. All right, so check this out. You're finding major resistance at this zero line, and you just crossed over to the downside on the current tick. So, actually, 2 ticks. So, could get a little bounce once we get down into this region a little bit, and maybe come back up to the signal line, and then get rejected. BBWP, look at this. All right, so it's printing a this is why I'm saying this massive move is coming. The 8-hour is printing a very low read. As soon as it crosses its moving average, things are going to pop, either to the upside or the downside. All right? I mean, things are going to get serious. Massive move coming. All right, let's go to the daily. Once again, your BBWP is printing a very, very low read. I mean, it's staying down here for a while as we move sideways. All right, the volatility's been going down since, I mean, we entered this channel, since we entered this range. So now we're going sideways. RSI getting rejected from the top of the bearish control zone. I could see us coming up just a little bit more and then crossing your signal line to the downside. MACD. Fresh cross to the upside, but positive momentum's already waning on the histogram. So that really doesn't look too strong. All right. So basically, here's the rundown, okay? I think we break this red zone, but I think we could get a pop-up first, maybe to 1330, possibly to 1340, and then continue down. Now, if we just break it, then we're going to come down to the bottom of the range. I think we go down to the bottom of the range anyway. Oh, 1333 actually is the level to beat to get up to the 50 at 1340. All right, so not too far away, $5. But we need to get back above that level in order to even try to get to the 50. All right, so yeah, I mean, I think we come down to the bottom of the range either way. Now, let's check the stochastic for Ethereum. All right, so we are in the oversold region, but we could stay down here for a while. I mean, we came down, tried to get back up, and now we cross the signal line once again to the downside, basically just converging and diverging away from it. We could stay right at the bottom of the bearish control zone here for a while. As you see, I mean, we entered the oversold region about right here, and we stayed in that oversold region as we went more down continuously. Now, we're going to have some support down here at 1290 region. All right, we have a double, actually, triple bullish order block. So we got a lot of support down here. So we will probably get a bounce somewhere around 1290, 1293. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Let's move on to Solana. Once again, if you guys are liking this video so far, like and subscribe. All right, so let's go to Solana. Start on the daily. Sideways movement. I mean, even your RSI is definitely moving just a little bit up to the right. Trying to cross this neutral median line to the upside. If we can get back above this last high on the RSI, I would expect the bounce to continue, or the bounce to happen. Your MACD's trying to work its way up to the zero line. Positive momentum is just weak. All right, so honestly, I would expect a rejection from these last highs on the MACD. BBWP, once again, very, very low read, and that moving average is right there. So as soon as we cross that moving average, get that moving average with an upside curvature, that is going to look that's when the volatility is going to happen. Okay, and either we break the range bottom or the range top. Everything's got a range right now, but the massive move is coming, and I think it's coming within the next couple of days. Sometime over the weekend, possibly Monday at the latest. Okay, let's go to the 8-hour. Range sideways once again. Testing the top of the bearish control zone. Let's see if we have. No, we do not. Below our signal line on the RSI. Oh, fresh cross to the signal line on the MACD to the downside. Trying to get below that zero line. I would expect a bounce at this last low. All right, possibly even a bounce at the zero line. We need to get back above this level on the MACD in order to potentially turn this momentum around. Negative momentum is increasing as we go down. So if we break this last low on the histogram, that's when the momentum is going to really turn bearish. BBWP, once again, printing a very low read, but we're curling around right now. So when we cross this moving average, that's when I'm expecting the move to happen. Then it roll over into the daily and turn its BBWP around as well. So, like I said, the move is coming. Watch. I'm telling you, the move is coming. And it's going to happen fast once it gets going. Your moving averages were just converging to each other as we move sideways. So, whichever way these start to fan out, that's going to tell you what the true trend is. And it's going to happen when we're either at the bottom or the top of the range. So, that's what I'm saying. When we leave this range, we're leaving. And we're leaving pretty quick. All right. So, let's go to the 4-hour. 4-hour, we are in the bearish control zone below your signal line. Not looking too good there. MACD, come on. Crossing your 0 line. Negative momentum's waning a bit. Do have a little bit of support right here on the MACD. Could get the bounce back up to the signal line and then continue back down. BBWP is coming down below its moving average, which makes me think that we could consolidate for a little longer. Possibly get that bounce up to the moving averages. Your moving averages look like they're trying to have a multi-crossover. We could get a bounce up to them and then get a rejection, continue down. Moving averages start to fan out as we break the bottom of the range, then down to, let's see here. See what our next level would be. 28, basically 70, somewhere in there. Anywhere from $29 to $28.40. That'd be the level that I'd be looking at. Okay. So next level after that, $26 to $25.60. All right. So let's go down to the 1 hour and talk about what's going to happen. All right. Well, what could potentially happen because nobody has a crystal ball. So we're in a range within a range. All right, we're in a range within a range. We're going to find out what happens next. I mean, you see here, we're just in a range. Do we have potential? No, we do not. We don't have any bullish divergence. 1 hour RSI getting rejected from the top of the bearish control zone. We could possibly get a bounce up to the neutral median line like we did here both these times. That would also coincide with Bitcoin getting a little bounce, then entering back into the bearish control zone and continuing down. MACD, fairly fresh cross to the upside. Positive momentum really ain't doing much. So this is going to be a weak bounce in my opinion. BBWP is in the very lower zone. Probably going to print some dark blue bars and then cross its moving average to the upside. That's when it's going to start to roll over into the 4 hour, the 8 hour, and the daily, one by one. Okay, this BBWP on the 1 hour is the thing to watch, and you want it to turn around strong. You want your moving average to get a positive slope, and then we will come back to it. We will be here for the either the dump or the pump. By the way, I'm sorry I haven't made a video in the last couple days. Things have just been crazy with work. I've been working 12-hour days. And really just been drained. But I am going to start making these videos in the morning again so that I can get them done before work. Because once I get off work, I just really don't feel like doing shit. So yeah, I need to make these before work. And so I can keep you guys up to date on what's going on in the market. By the way, once again, if you guys like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. You will not regret it. We have a lot of good conversation there. Crypto trading, investing, markets as a whole. All right. Everyone have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, and I will see you tomorrow.